edition of The World Behind Expertise. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
And this edition should not be happening because, holy shit, we talked about last week, I don't know if we talked about it on air during the Comic-Con stuff, about how there would be a void. Understatement of the century because we have like literally nothing to talk about. One of these things, the very last thing, should have been a part of last week's podcast, but I pushed it back because we already had so much shit. Now, if I didn't do that, we would only have like 3 topics to talk about. Let's just get this shit out of the way. Let's pull off the band-aid that is going to be episode 69. We are getting a reboot of The Rocketeer. They are calling it a kind of a little bit of a reboot, a little bit of a sequel.
Reboot-quel.
So what do you think about this? I have not seen the original. You have. You're a big fan.
I love the original.
So what are your thoughts on them actually rebooting it / reboot-quel, whatever you call it?
I'm fine with that. I mean, it's going to be Disney. They're in charge of the MCU. They're in charge of Star Wars. Their own properties like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. I'm not worried. Like, if anyone's going to pull off a convincing Rocketeer reboot, it's going to be Disney anyway.
So it is Disney?
Yeah.
Disney did the original one too?
I
always just thought this was like its own thing.
I believe it was done through one of their other channels, like one of their other companies, but it was Disney. Okay. Yeah. It's a Disney property.
Interesting. Because I can't remember. Now, is this based off of like an obscure comic, or was it an original idea for the movie?
I honestly couldn't tell you that. I honestly do not know.
They did say they are in the midst of the reboot, making the Rocketeer now a female lead, which
of course,
eventually we will no longer have
male leads. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it either. Long as they can do like they did with Force Awakens, for instance, where it was just an awesome role that a female was filling, rather than being like Ghostbusters, like, hey, look at us, we have women. Like, that bothers me.
Like how they had this is not even talking about Ghostbusters anymore. This is I'm gonna put a fucking can on Ghostbuster talk. Yeah, yeah, I don't have a problem with it either, as long as it's written well. Did they have a director or anything attached to this yet?
I don't believe they did.
They're probably just now kicking around the actual idea.
I think they just now started even doing anything with it. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I didn't just pull that out of my ass. That I'm almost positive it was one of Disney's companies. I didn't know James Horner did the music for it, though.
Huh. James Horner, great as always, so it's probably a soundtrack worth buying.
Probably.
It says Disney movie reboot in the works on that article.
So I know Disney's doing the reboot.
Some way associated with Disney, so...
But
yeah, I don't know. I still need to watch the original. I'm sure it'll be up my alley because I really like Joe Johnston usually. Mm-hmm. Joe Johnston, if you're unfamiliar, not only did the first Captain America movie, but he also did Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always liked Jurassic Park 3. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I always liked it. You find anything on Wikipedia about it?
No, not really. It should be. I know Disney is the one that's doing it, like you mentioned, but I forgot Jennifer Connelly was in it.
Okay, production company was Disney, and it looks like Touchstone, so...
Okay, yeah.
Distributed by
Buena Vista.
It was one of those secretly a Disney thing, but not marketed as such.
Yeah, so. It was one of the companies that they own.
Now it'll be marketed. You'll have Disney thrown all over it.
Oh, yeah, it's going to have the castle at the front, probably.
Most definitely, because Disney owns like 75% of the planet.
Yep.
But yeah.
If not more.
Next up in the movie news, this is some badass news, and I'm excited, God. And I have no context for this. It's just the name alone, and that name is Willem Dafoe. He has been added to the cast of Death Note, which is actually a Netflix original film. Let's go first with just Willem Dafoe. He is playing Ryuko. Was that his name?
Yeah, something like that. You're right. It's been a while, so the pronunciation's escaping me.
Casting, obviously, I'm in just because I like Willem Dafoe, but for the character,
perfect.
Even just like the still images next to each other.
Yeah, they had the still image of him as Norman Osborn, or I guess Green Goblin in that moment. Side by side with it. Yeah, dude, that is going to be just absolutely amazing. Everything else but that can suck, and it would still be a great movie just because of that.
It must have something good behind it, because Willem Dafoe...
Dude, I knew that this was happening, but I did not know they were taking it that fucking seriously to go out of the way to get him.
It's a bit like Cranston on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Kind of like... grab a big name, make a splash. I really want to watch Death Note. I love the concept.
Dude,
they
can make him extra creepy too with Willem Dafoe's voice.
Yeah, and they're probably going to do some digital enhancement. Now we will talk about how it is a Netflix original. Netflix, I think the very first original they have is actually going to be supposedly a sci-fi original film from David Ayer. They're talking about this Death Note movie they're doing now, so Netflix has begun the transition to not only original series but also original films. I trust Netflix as a production company because of their television shows more than 98% of Hollywood, so I like that they're getting into the movie business too. I think they're also maybe working, the Snowpiercer movie? I believe Netflix might be the driving force behind that director's next film as well. I think that might be coming to Netflix.
That's cool. That's a damn good movie too.
Yeah, they're making some good pulls. Like your first few movies, your first one being a David Ayer movie. Then you go get Willem Dafoe for it. Death Note's a pretty big anime property.
Oh yeah.
And the Snowpiercer movie is kind of really well loved in like geek circles. So it's pretty smart. They're doing a smart job.
Yeah, they're off to a great start with their movie careers.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I need Ron to buy the anime so I can actually watch it.
I almost did the other day. I was out at FYE, which we still have a fucking FYE, by the way.
Yeah, they're in. It's like the cashier, just like a skeleton
with cobwebs.
You chose poorly. We have one more thing in the movie news. God, this is such a depressing ass podcast. I put in when I emailed the notes over to Ron, I put this podcast needs a hug.
Yes, it is true.
So this story is fascinating in the stupidest way imaginable. Suicide Squad opens up this week. The press has gotten a hold of early screenings, obviously, and they have started putting up the reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, it has been certified rotten. I believe last I looked, it was
33 is last I saw.
It was like 33 or 34 in that range, not looking good. And oh my god, the internet, the butthurt fanboy reaction to it is just mind-numbing. They are actually calling via change.org, because if you want shit done, you go to change.org.
Exactly.
They are calling for Rotten Tomatoes to be shut down because of the Suicide Squad reviews.
Because, freedom of speech and all that has no bearing. Now, here's the thing.
First of all, there's like 20 things, but you go ahead and do with your first thing.
Okay, here's the thing. Why the fuck do they care? If they don't like what Rotten Tomatoes has to say about it, then ignore Rotten Tomatoes. But the thing that baffled me was the article that I read. And I want to say it was either on Nerd Tits or IGN or something, or it might be the one you sent me. I don't know. But a lot of the people signing the petition, or the people calling for the petition and then to be shut down and everything, admitted to having not seen the movie yet.
That was going to be one of my next points. That is just fucking stupid.
What in the hell?
Okay, that's ridiculous. That's fucking stupid. Also, like you alluded to, and what I ended up putting on Facebook about it, Ralph Garman did pretty much, and then like a lot of people are like, since when did geek culture, and this is not everybody, but it's a good chunk of geek culture, become so butthurt and thin-skinned that you feel like you have to have outside justification to like a thing?
Yeah.
If you like a thing, who
then
gives
like
a
it.
fuck?
Yeah.
Then like it. It does not. If someone's favorite movie, for whatever reason, is Batman v Superman, who cares?
Yeah.
I'm happy that you were able to enjoy the movie. I wish I would have been able to like it more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes has no impact on you.
Yeah.
And if you let it, then you're a fucking fool. Because art is subjective. You don't need an arbitrary review score, what do they call it, aggregator, to dictate what you can like or dislike in your fucking art.
Yeah, like, I don't get it.
We could have a 3-hour discussion on how idiotic this whole thing is.
It's like everything that I always say. Like, when I was at DirecTV, I literally had a guy call in wanting to know what the fuck he had to do to get us to remove the Bible stations off of his package. And I'm like, well, one, it's FCC law, they're there. Two, don't tune to those channels. You don't like what's on the channel, turn the fucking channel. Same with radio, same with internet. If you don't like what you're seeing about something, move on to a different site.
And it's so ridiculous. It's like these people forget that in your lifetime, you have seen thousands and thousands of movies and TV shows and whatever. You were able to fucking designate whether you were on your own liking a thing or disliking a thing before there was a fucking internet. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why now Ron is now looking up. What are you looking up?
I'm just curious. You and I really like Prometheus.
Oh, I'm sure it's like a 17. Oh, it's actually
it's a 73.
I was expecting like a 17 because how much everyone shits on Prometheus.
I was trying to think of something that you and I love that we preach about all the time on the podcast that they would have hated, and that I am stunned.
I'm taking one that I do remember. Man of Steel is sitting at about a 50, and I think Man of Steel deserves a lot better. Even if you think Man of Steel is dumb or has some like dumb character stuff with him. Yeah, it's
at 55.
It's to me, it's a solid movie. Then it should be up in the 70s at least. Yeah, I don't know. Ron is just now going through all of Rotten Tomatoes. Looking at
I'm falling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Rocketeer is 62. So someone out there ought to be able to enjoy it then, since Rotten Tomatoes says that it is 62.
It's like everyone's like, oh wait, I just watched this movie. I don't know if I can like it or not. I have to go check the internet for fucking reviews. And then the other thing too, I disagree with looking up detailed reviews of shit before you've seen a thing.
I agree.
Because you watch the thing through the lens of another person's experience. One of my really, I'm not going to go into it like or throw their name out or anything, but one of my friends who I'm pretty good friends with, we actually agree on 90% of movies and TV shows and shit like that.
You said that you weren't going to talk about me like this on this podcast.
I would call you out. I'm being nice with this person. This whole podcast has been built around you and I yelling at each other over shit we're actually probably agreeing on. No, but he will go and look up before he watches a movie detailed reviews. And
fuck that.
One of the things that he did was I think he ended up really, really disliking Man of Steel, specifically even more than he originally would have. Because I remember when I went and watched Man of Steel, I just go and watch Man of Steel, and then I'm out of curiosity, I'll go and maybe read some reviews later to kind of see like maybe what I missed from my experience. He read all the detailed reviews and then went and watched the movie, and then I remember seeing his like Facebook and tweets about it. That's we'll talk about that one in a second. That's a good one that Rotten Tomatoes is on. With Man of Steel,
that's totally derailed
you a little bit. Because Ron's just like this. No, he basically came out of it and then reaffirmed the reviews he was reading.
Well, of course he did.
Exactly.
Because he preconditioned himself.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that you're human, you're not going to pick up on. You might have picked up on your second or third viewing.
We've actually had this conversation before on this podcast, and I pointed out that you and I live in the same world, but you experience the entire world, the entire planet differently than I do. You see different things, you hear different things, you read into different things than I do, and that's not a bad thing. It's just you live in basically your world. I live basically in my world.
My world's better.
Every person lives in their own world. To quote Adam Savage, I reject your reality and substitute my own. But yeah, so why would you, when you have no notions of something, it's a blank slate for you, go in and read what somebody else's opinion is on it? And it doesn't mean that their opinion is wrong necessarily. It doesn't mean it's a bad opinion. It's their opinion, but that's the problem here. It's their opinion.
You're warping your own because of it.
Yes. You now are losing. The more of those that you read, the more, in my opinion, the ability to form your own, you lose. Because you just filled your head with everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame because, I mean, a lot of people aren't as well. If you start going down the review rabbit hole, most people aren't as conscientious about spoilers as you and I are, too. You can end up having shit just straight up ruined.
There are movies out there that the ending totally makes the movie. So... yeah, I don't agree with looking up reviews of movies before I go to see them. I generally hesitate to look up reviews at all. I usually am curious what IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes has to say because, they're not just necessarily reviewers or critics. They're, usually you can sign up on Rotten Tomatoes yourself and vote or something like you can Flickster. You can sign up for IMDb.
Yeah, and when I'm talking about this, I'm not specifically saying it's a bad. I do it too. I will either have it pointed out to me, or I will go and look up out of curiosity before I see a movie the generalized either IMDb scores or the Rotten Tomatoes number. Now, to me, that is completely different than looking up like
reading a review
in the newspaper. You know, like they still do like we have is it Scene in Tulsa? Yeah, like they
Michael
do.
Smith.
They do detailed reviews, and I think it's just a dumb thing to do. That's just my opinion on it. But yeah, Ron pulled up a movie we actually really like. Speed Racer has a 39%. Now, Speed Racer is not Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
But it didn't set out to be Pulp Fiction. It is set out to be a dumb movie based off a dumb anime where shit blows up on a racetrack real good. And to me, it did that beautifully.
And one of the main reasons I thought about it was you and I like it, and I actually know a guy that has Speed Racer posters on his wall and models of the Mach 5 that he built in little cases around that never saw this movie because he read the reviews on it.
It's a goddamn shame.
For him, that is our Batman. It's like us not going to see Batman Begins or The Dark Knight or anything like that because reviews weren't good.
It's fucking idiotic.
Yeah.
And guess what you and I are both doing Sunday morning? We're going out to watch Suicide Squad where we can form our own fucking opinion on it. But yeah, this whole thing is just goddamn ridiculous. And, okay, a quick aside, why is Change.org even still a thing? When has anything ever actually gotten productively done?
They didn't give me Firefly Season 2.
They didn't give us Constantine Season 2.
No, they didn't.
Bastages. But yeah,
we could do Change.org.
we could do an entire fucking podcast.
We are
on Change.org
because there's nothing else to talk about.
So the ethics of Change.org. All right, let's continue the DC trend and talk a little bit about this thing.
Not so Superman.
I feel like I'm probably taking this a little bit too seriously because it's a character I'm not even particularly passionate about, but it's more of the principle of the thing.
On a network you're not particularly passionate about either.
Okay, we got our first look late last week of Tyler and I actually googled how to pronounce his fucking name. It's Tyler Hoechlin. That is how you pronounce his name.
Hoechlin's about to get heckled.
I'm sure we'll fuck it up by next week. They revealed the first image of him as Superman. And if you remember when we first talked about this casting, what was the very first thing I said? He doesn't even look the part, and I hadn't even seen a picture of him in the costume yet.
Right.
So I feel like I'm kind of justified in complaining about this because I've been bitching about it for the whole time.
You can finally sleep at night knowing that you're justified in your opinion.
Yeah, see, I like my justification on superhero
about
costumes.
Your preconceived notions.
Yeah, hey.
On the soapbox we just got off of.
No, those notions were purely preconceived by myself. I didn't go and look up.
True.
I didn't go and look up Collider. Oh, Collider thought it looked bad. Therefore I have to think it looks bad.
I wish you could have seen his face when he said that.
Yeah, we were being a giant douchebag about all people who look up reviews today, but yeah, we've lost all three people we originally would have. So fuck it. Tyler Hoechlin. They revealed an image. He might end up being like good for the role. We don't know.
I hope he went off his ability. Because this is something that I normally don't agree with, but I actually agree with you on that you're probably leading up to if I would just let you talk.
So the thing about this, and you and I often talk, because we could literally do a side podcast that is just about superhero TV and movie casting.
Might as well do it today.
Because there is so much of pop culture right now that is purely superhero related, because that's what's driving the industry and dollar bills right now is superhero stuff. There are pretty much two characters specifically that I think the look of the character is actually important. We've talked about before, Idris Elba would be a great Batman.
Yes.
He doesn't necessarily look like the characters on the page, but it doesn't fucking matter for the character. Spider-Man, there's nothing about the character of Spider-Man that dictates he has to be an 18-year-old white dude.
Yeah. Just body shape, more or less, for the costume. Everything else, nothing else is really that iconic.
The two characters that I think the look actually is important to the character are Superman and Wolverine.
I agree.
And this actor who they have picked for Superman on that paradigm of opposites, to me, is closer to Wolverine than he is to looking as Superman.
Yeah, It's just odd. Like I said, normally, I don't agree with that sort of thing, but Superman, his looks are as iconic as the character.
He's supposed to embody a certain type of person. He's supposed to look like the quarterback of the football team. That is the go-to that I go to, because Henry Cavill...
And he's also supposed to be basically the man that like every kid wants to be when he grows up. He's the person that every adult guy wants to be. He has the square jawline and all that. I mean, he has to look a certain way.
Christopher Reeve was perfect.
Yes.
Henry Cavill is perfect. Tom Welling literally looks like he could be the quarterback of the football team at your high school. And then that's not even also Clark Kent is supposed to be much older than Supergirl. He's usually roughly 15 to 20 years older than her. He looks the same age.
Yeah.
Philip even said within Supergirl they've alluded that he is older. He doesn't fucking look it.
No, he does
and
not.
You want to talk about if this was was it Tom Felton? Is that the Harry Potter dude
yes,
who was Malfoy?
So.
I actually believe more so in his acting ability than this guy, because he came from fucking Teen Wolf on fucking MTV.
That's still a thing, MTV?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if it had just been a pure business ploy, that'd be one thing too. Guess what, CW? The tween girl audience you think you're getting from MTV by bringing him over is already watching the goddamn CW. You have the Vampire Diaries as a television show. Yeah, and also, literally, all they had to do to shut people up about Tom Welling, because that was the big thing. The people who are passionate about Superman, who are also watching shit on CW, there's a good chance they also watched at least a good portion of Smallville. Your PR guys, to nip that in the bud, have to bring it up and say, we reached out to Tom Welling. You can even fucking lie.
Yeah.
You can even say, we reached out to Tom Welling. There was he had a scheduling conflict. He's moved on from that in his acting career. He's not looking to go back into this genre. Bullshit. I just came up off the top of my head 3 different excuses they could use. Never even fucking said his name. From the network, who went out of their way to have John Wesley Shipp be a part of The Flash.
Yeah.
Who on Supergirl have Linda Carter, who was Wonder Woman 40 years ago.
I've seen Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain on that IMDb page too.
Yes. Tom Welling was on your own network for 10 seasons, and we don't even get a bullshit excuse. This was mishandled at every jump to me, and as a person who did watch all of Smallville, and I do genuinely like Tom Welling, I thought he was a good Superman. This should have been a flagship moment for their network. They finally got the right to use either Superman or Batman back on fucking TV, and all they did was piss off everyone for the most part.
Yeah, it's a very, very odd story, very odd turn of events, because it's just so out of left field. I can't figure out what they're going for. They could be more brother and sister than cousins that are 15 years apart. I don't get it.
He like you said, I agree with you. He looks closer to being Bizarro.
Yeah.
And what the dumbest thing about this is in Hollywood, I can go on a fucking street corner, throw a rock, I'll probably hit an attractive 35-year-old white dude with a square jaw.
Yeah.
They're a dime a dozen. And they went out of their way almost to get the Teen Wolf guy. And I just don't understand. Shocker, Ron. He looks like a werewolf.
Which is why he would probably make a better Wolverine.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. It's baffling to me. I'm disappointed because I was actually really excited when they announced they were going to have Superman on there, which I'm not the world's biggest Superman fan, but it was kind of cool that they pulled the right strings and got him on there.
I never really cared to begin with, it's I saw that the episode of Supergirl that had Grant Gustin on it. I'm really not all that interested in the Supergirl show. I was actually CW now.
I was looking forward to giving it a shot on the CW just out of curiosity to see what was revamped.
Yeah.
And this kind of killed my interest on it. I might
Did you see the articles today that some of the actors from the show are coming back over?
Yeah, they did announce. Yeah, she was coming back in like a more minor role, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. This just, to me, this could have been like a really awesome. Like,
to me, Calista Flockhart shouldn't be in any role anywhere on anything.
I agree. But if they had, and like my whole thing, it sounds like I'm just pining for Tom Welling. I just would have liked someone better suited for the role.
Yeah,
it didn't have. If it would have been Tom Welling, it would have been great. It would have been cool.
That's fan service, is what that is.
Which is like what their network is based around, really. Yeah, but yeah, we've been beating the subject to death. I just thought it was mishandled. I thought for CW, and like one of the things I also tweeted about, for the network, who crushed characters like Captain Cold and Heatwave, to have such a colossal fuck up with one of the flagships.
It's just weird.
It's weird, and it's really out of left field, like you said. But yeah, we're going to move on. We talked just now about Grant Gustin. He actually has been in the news talking about Flashpoint. I believe he was talking with Kevin Smith during some of his Comic-Con interviews.
Kevin Smith was on a yacht. The lucky bastard got to interview people as they finished their panels for Comic-Con, and the Flash cast was some of the people he got to interview, and he asked Grant Gustin about Flashpoint. And I actually we went out and got a clip. This is on the IMDb page. There's also a link to it in the Collider article about it. But this is what Kevin Smith asked him and what Grant Gustin had to say.
And so is it an all-season long Flashpoint, or it begins with Flashpoint?
No, I think we can state that Flashpoint does not last all season long, but
that's good to know.
But there are permanent ramifications.
Okay, so first off, we fucking knew it. That might as well be confirmation of a 3-episode long Flashpoint.
If you told me bet your life savings, which is a grand whopping total of like $7.45 right now.
That was a very specific amount.
Yeah, I'm saving up for that trip to Wendy's, man. I bet you Flashpoint is 2 or 3 episodes long.
Yeah. So not only did we fucking call it already, but I call complete horseshit on ramifications of time travel.
Especially after this was...
Unless it permanently resurrects his parents, I guess, spoilers for Flash, but I think
anyone actually listening to us talk about this is probably caught up on the Flash.
People are listening to us talk about this?
People hypothetically in our hypothetical worlds. If they're not going to have ramifications for the plot point that killed Barry Allen in the comic books for 35 years, I'm pretty sure we're not going to have any permanent ramifications from this.
Yeah, no,
I hope I'm wrong.
The last time we had permanent ramifications of time travel, a guy that was once a villain randomly showed up in the hub and just kind of walked off screen.
I'd forgotten that character was even a thing by the time they rolled back around to include that character again.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't even know. I kind of hate that Flashpoint's happening. That should be an entire season-long ordeal.
Well, it should be at least a half a season.
At least half a season. Yeah. Well, fucking their seasons, half a season. But, yeah, I don't know. It's
not necessarily a bad thing. It's just awkward. Like, it feels like we're backtracking a little bit.
We are. We're going back to season 1, more or less.
No, that's the thing too. We were hypercritical about Flash Season 2, and Flash Season 2 is still good television for the most part, other than like an episode or two that had really, really glaring plot hole issues. But the reason we criticize it so badly was because Season 1 was kind of like a masterpiece. Like, there's hardly anything wrong.
That first season, Jeff, that show should not have worked as like that well. For what they wanted to do, beautiful, and it was better than most things on television. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah, it's just
and our love for that first season is why we were so critical of season 2, because we know they're capable of much, much more. And then we're getting more goddamn speedsters.
Speedsters.
Seriously, I don't even know, but. I don't know.
I hope we're wrong.
Now,
I liked some of the stuff I was seeing from what they were doing with Flashpoint, but nonetheless, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm still. I mean, it's fucking.
I'm not that excited for this next season. I could take it or leave it.
I've already given up on Arrow.
It took you a lot longer than
I gave them a good old fucking college try, more than they deserved. I am still looking forward to The Flash because I want to see if they can get back what they had with season 1. Because if they can even get back up to 3/4 the quality of season 1, it'll be a goddamn good television show.
Yeah, it would. I don't know. I'm scared.
I'm a little nervous about it. I'm genuinely excited for Legends of Tomorrow season 2. If any of these shows can deal with the fragile shelf life they seem to have, specifically Arrow and what looks could be eventually happening to the Flash, it's Legends because they have Doctor Who syndrome. They can do whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want with the show because of the way the show works.
Yeah.
So if you're just consistently clever with Legends, you can maintain it a lot longer. How many episodes of Flash have there been? Getting close to like 50 something. And the fact that they're still trying to throw speedsters as if it's like a new exciting thing is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
And they really need to start using...
I mean, at this point, they're throwing so many speedsters, it's more like a show about Sonic the Hedgehog than anything.
They have shown via Superman and Supergirl, they're giving them access to the toys. Fucking dig deeper into the toy box, guys.
Yeah.
Give me my fucking Mirror Master, give me my Shade, give me Mongol.
I think part of the problem is they're burning through too many villains of the week. And they need to stop killing or capturing some of these and do just a handful of villains throughout the entire season.
I like the Legion of Doom angle. I don't know if they're going to pull it off, but as a concept, if they do pull it off, it could be really damn cool. Next up in the TV news, one of the things we're really looking forward to later this year, finally getting off the ground, is Westworld. It is now officially premiering on the date of October 2nd. It's HBO. I'm worried because it was in development hell for like 20 years, but a development hell-ridden HBO show is still better than like 90% of network television. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it should be pretty good. That trailer was pretty cool.
I love the concept. We both like Michael Crichton.
Yes.
The cast is fantastic. What's funny? Did you actually hear one of the Anthony Hopkins quotes about this?
No, I didn't.
It was really funny. He got, I guess, interviewed once they actually get the release date. Or maybe it was at Comic-Con he was interviewed, but he was asked about it. And then when he watched some of the footage, it had been in development hell for so long, he saw scenes he forgot he acted in. I fucking love Anthony Hopkins, man. Anthony Hopkins should be in every fucking thing just because he's Anthony Hopkins.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. If for nothing else, it is one more thing to bridge the gap till we get more Game of Thrones. And while we're talking about that, one of our ultimate fan favorites of just television period of the last 10 years is fucking Bronn on Game of Thrones.
I love Bronn.
Maybe it's hard to pick a favorite Game of Thrones character, but like he's in the running for like top 3 or 4.
Oh yeah,
fucking love me some Bronn. The actor Jerome Flynn. This was the article that actually should have been in last week's, but I delayed it because we had so much to talk about last week and nothing this week as we ranted about Change.org.
Somehow we have drug it out to like almost 40 minutes now.
Yeah, we do that. Well, it was 20 minutes.
Man.
Change.org had to be complained about, damn it. Jerome Flynn has been added to the cast of Black Mirror.
Fuck yes.
He is going to be the lead of, I think it was like episode 3 or episode 4. They had him detailed listed, but yeah, fucking perfect casting.
Great actor, great show. Cannot wait. I want more Black Mirror.
Netflix running it too.
Oh,
it was already good, and now Netflix just like, oh, dude, Netflix, that $9.99.
Give it to me now.
I'm gonna take my $9.99, smear it all over Netflix's face. I just can't fucking
face, neck, and chest.
Face, neck, and chest. That should be Netflix's slogan. Netflix original programming for $9.99. All over your face, neck, and chest. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. That is going to be a wrap for episode 69. We should have had Stewie at the get-go for
the sexiest of episodes.
If you would like to check us out more, please like and subscribe. That gets you all of our content. We were talking about just Game of Thrones. We are actually doing Retrospective right now. We went all the way back to the very beginning of Game of Thrones to do kind of like a fresh viewing on it. We also have Facebook and Twitter links below in the description, and most importantly, if you know anyone else that might also enjoy our content, we would greatly appreciate the share. For the Really Expletives, I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
And fuck Change.org.